Hello, everyone. This is Lena with Especially Made for Me. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. We're going to be doing something different today, like doing new things. So we're going to be doing a star using a star frame from the Dollar Tree, but we're going to try to go a little bit more on the Western side. So we're not using actual mesh today or florals, but I guess in a way we are using florals. We're going to be using, these are called like rattan. Could be like a part of a grapevine if you have some of that. But you can buy these already pre-cut, sent together. You can get them in different shapes. Um, so we're going to be using some of that. I've already pulled some of them out, trying to not open the whole thing so that we can use some of that. We're going to be using tubing, mesh tubing, and we're going to be using some of this polka dot ribbon and some of this ribbon. It's got like a little, I'm guessing it's more like an elk deer with some antlers that match some of these same colors. So that's pretty much all we're going to be using, other than using our glue gun and glue sticks, which while I'm thinking about it, let me get the battery for my glue gun. I had it charging. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So I'm going to just prepare my little thing here for the plate that I use. I like putting a little plate with a little bit of water under the glue gun while it's being in use. That way, if any glue drops fall, they'll be right on the, and that water makes it easier for it to come on out when we're done. And I'll just put a little napkin on there just in case, you know, there might be a spill. There's not much water in there, but just in case. But just another tip on something to do. I know there's so many contraptions that they're out there for holding the glue gun and, you know, all of that, and you have to use up, you know, styrofoam plate and all of that stuff. I try to not have to keep buying stuff, so I just use one plate that I don't use in my kitchen with a little bit of water. And I'll change, when I change the view, I'll show you that as well, in case I haven't shown that in a while. And that's pretty much it. Hello, how are you? Thank you for joining. So I'm going to go ahead and change the view. Move my phone out of the way. Hopefully it doesn't start vibrating. Alrighty. So here we go. Let's change the view. We can get started here. So this is what I was mentioning earlier with the bowl. You can see a little bit of water on the bottom, maybe see something moving, but it's really literally just a little bit to fill at the bottom. So that way when the drops of the glue from the glue gun drop in there, they don't really stick. So it makes it a lot easier for pulling it out. Good, good, good. Hope all is well. Move the screen, the keyboard out of the way. I was trying before the video and I didn't even realize, you know, the time kind of got by me. So but was about maybe a minute or two late. So I apologize for that. I was trying to get some things together and I wanted to get some of these out before being on video because I didn't want to loosen this up to get them all out. So I was trying to see which one were loose enough for us to be able to use, and I made a big mess, but this is basically what I did just so I can show you how I got these out. I just kind of saw which ones were kind of soft or loose, I guess I should say, and you could pull either which way depending on what may be grabbing it, and then you just pull them out, which is how I pull these out. So it takes a little bit, so I try to do that before the video was starting, but it does make a bit of a mess. Ooh, super early. I understand. Gotta make sure you get some seeds. Thank you for being here. I know you're busy. So we're making, again, we're going to use one of these star frames from the dollar store to do a little Western, give it a little bit of a Western look. I know normally these are used a lot for I think Jewish holidays and, you know, Christmas and things like that. So, but I thought, because another idea I had before was doing like a red, white, and blue one, you know, because patriotic. We have so many different holidays that we can use the same thing as long as we don't make it specific to the holiday, but we can still do the red, white, and blue. And these stars are great for that too. So we'll see. Maybe we'll do that project as well. So what we're going to be doing I want to show you here on the corners, where the, or not the corners, but where the two meet for the triangles on the stars. Normally I would try to go over it a couple of times, so we'll see that as we go, because if we just do right on the edge of each one, then you might still see that line in between. So we want to make sure that middle is covered. But the key is to just continue to go round and round. For this one, excuse me, our whole roll won't fit through the middle, so we do have to take some of our ribbon out of the scheme, so we'll be able to use it. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and do that as I talk. Our idea is to cover the star with our ribbon, and then once we have it fully covered, we'll start decorating with what we have out, and we're gonna make a bow to dress it up. But we want to keep it simple, and we want to just give it that Western look with some of the ribbons that we have and some of these cuttings from the rattan or the grapevine, and the ribbons that we're using. Like we're using that one that I mentioned earlier with the little deer and elk with the antlers, which is where these will come in. But I wanted to keep it all around the same colors. And normally with those Western stars, they're more on the brass side and all of that, which is why I wanted to bring these colors out and then use some of the tubing as well. So let's see, getting a little big already, so I'm gonna go a little bit smaller and keep on rolling it up, because I'd rather have it all out than to have to do two cuttings of it. That's just me. But it should be fairly easy. I think our most difficult part will be the decorating part. Just deciding what to do, not because it's a hard thing to do, but for me, I always look at one thing that's like, oh yeah, I like that. It's like, no, I want to do something else. So that's why it's the most difficult, but it's not really difficult. So, okie dokie. We're almost there. So I'll make sure we'll be able to get it through the middle. And we'll use some of this same ribbon to make our bow. We won't use any contractions for the bow. We're going to just use our hands. We want to keep it simple for those that may not have any of those tools to still be able to do what we're doing. And if any questions, just let me know. Put it on the comments. Making it a little bit tighter. I mentioned I had gone to a conference last week. Learned a lot. It was a spy and something conference. I can't think of the actual word now. But I tell you, it was in Las Vegas. And Lord have mercy for someone like me that has has sensitive sinuses, I guess I should say. Not sinus issues, but I can't smell anything like strong odors or whatever for too long. My sinuses start acting up almost immediately. And I've been dealing with that since. It's been driving me crazy. This was not quite prepared for all there was so much smoking and people wearing a lot of perfume, and it just got all up in there, and my poor nostrils and sinuses are just whining about it. I can say that. So if you hear any of that, that's what it is. Okay, so I like starting on the bottom so I can glue it where we start, wherever we decide to start. I'm just going to turn it over. And then we're just going to do some gluing. Just a little dab of glue. Oh, you too? Oh, I'm so sorry, girl. It's just awful, isn't it? And deal with this stuff. Not so well. All right, so I'm just applied a little dab of glue. think I put that much on this side. Let's see. I'll do another dab on that side. And then we're gonna get started on just basically wrapping the star. Oh yes, the smoking for me has been the worst. And there was a lot. It's like not just the people smoking, but I guess that it's been done so long at where we were that even though we weren't going by where the games were, the conference room that they had us at, you had to go through the gaming area. So you had the people smoking, and even when there wasn't anybody smoking, you could already smell it, I guess, on the rugs and stuff. It was that heavy. So I've lost my voice goes in and out. It's just like, and everything just kind of hurts on my sinuses, and it's just has not been fun in that regard. But I did enjoy the trip, and I was actually out there with my brother, and we haven't done a trip like that in quite some time. So that was nice on its own. The smoking, not so much. So I've seen different ways of doing the wrapping, and I thought we've done wrapping before with the square ones and the round ones. Let's try it with a star. We should be able to do that just fine. And I'll go ahead and start pulling over to the other side and do some more glue. Just a little. Because we'll have to change positions here. Little dab will do you. Little dab. Okay, let's see, maybe this way we can see where I'm putting the, I'm just putting the glue right on the bar, just to kind of help with holding the ribbon together, or in place, should I say. We're just going to continue to do this until we have everything covered. And again, we just want to make sure that our curves here and our points are covered. So you'll see me going a couple of times around those edges just to make sure that we don't miss anything. There might be an easier way to do this. If you know of one, let me know. I've seen people actually cut the ribbon to be able to do what I just did, but I just don't want to. Not bad. Just holding it in place for a little bit. I can put this in there yet. Okay. Hot, hot, hot. All right. Moving on. If we can get our big ball of ribbon through again. It's still hot. Can you believe that? Shouldn't be that hot anymore. And you don't have to use glue at every time that you go around. It's just where you think you're going to need a little bit more glue to keep it together. Little bit. Oopsie. Just spilled some glue. It's my way to wrap that. Oh, thank you. Okay, and here we go. This is what we're going to need a little bit more. I'm going to clean this up because I just wrapped some glue on there and I don't want it to get on the ribbon on the wrong side of it. Okay, just put a little bit up here to kind of hold it in place there. I'm just going to pull tightly and bring it back over. All right, now we're going to be on the tip of our star again. I'm going to do the same thing here. So we're going to need a little bit more of that glue. Okay, I'm just doing a fold with a dab of glue and another fold with a dab of glue. And if you feel it needs it on the other side, by all means, just don't get burned like I've been doing. Okay. That dries, I'm going to put a little bit of glue just in the middle of this to make sure it's put. And I want this to come unraveled and then undo our corner. Now it's looking, let me tighten this up again. Oops. From this side. So far, so good. Remember, the idea is just to cover everything up. A little dab to help keep it in place. Do a dab on the ribbon itself here. And we're wrapping around. Hi, Miss Monica. How are you? Alrighty, I'll do a little dabs here into our corners. Holding it for a few seconds here. We are doing a star, but we're making it a little bit more on the western side. Right now we're just covering it up. It's one of those star frames that you can get at the dollar store. So we're just using ribbon to wrap it, to get it all covered up. Yes, it definitely will work for Texas. I gotta show you the ribbons. You haven't seen the ribbons since you just came in. Well, you can see one of the ribbons. Alrighty. Little dabs. Yikes. Just burned myself again. Here's that other ribbon, Monica. Thank you with the antlers. Oh, thank you. This is the most time-consuming part, I guess. Alright, we're going to do a little dab again on our corner, on a little pointy of the star, so we can fold it in. A little more on top of that one to hold the other side. Yikes. I have to start wearing those things at the ends of my fingertips. But my thumbs are doing better. I'm so thankful. Little dab. Turn it again. Well, yeah, difficult it is. For sure. Just a little. Oh, yes. Please do try it. I just thought, hey, we've done the squares this way. We've done the round ones this way. It's been a while. Like, why can't we do a star? I haven't done anything Western in a while. We can do this. And most Western things don't look necessarily all that feminine. So I thought this might be just the way to go. it a little bit up here because it looks like it doesn't want to stick to the frame on that side. There we go. Looks like it wants to come off on this one too, so I have to hold it longer. But it's coming together. Almost there. Okay, so let's see the other side. Looks like we're good. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it back here so I can just do the finishing touch instead of wrapping it around one more time. Woohoo! See, and we have plenty of ribbon for our bow. That's going to be nice. Need to come up on that end because I didn't put enough glue. Well, I let it go too soon, one or the other. Because it's hot. Trying to burn me. There we go. Ta-da! Not too bad, not too bad. And we get to decorate it with our bow and our mesh tubing. Mesh tube. And our fake antlers. Alright, there we go. So, I was mentioned earlier about what was going to be the most difficult, which is decorating. So, where would we want the bow? So, what I use to try to guide myself on that, I kind of look to see which side I like the least, or which side I would want to cover up, and kind of go that route. So, that's one way to do it. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and make our bow. Ah, I mean, it could be left even like that, can't it? Huh? Just kind of let it be. So the reason why I'm going to still use this ribbon, because I was trying to find, I had a darker one that I wanted to use, and I couldn't find it, which is why I got the mesh tube. So I'm going to use the mesh tube for the bottom. Then I'm going to put this back on again, and then this is going to be for the top of it. But it's not wired. It just has a, let's see, can we see it more this way? It's got like a little bit of a glitter shimmer on the edges and on the antlers. So it'll kind of use some of that shine from the mesh tube to go along with it with the darker brown. So that's my thought. And bring some of these out. Loud, loud, loud. I don't think I'll be able to do that. Oh, let me just cut it. Alrighty. Have either of you done any work with the mesh tubes? So all I'm doing here is just gathering the tube, the mesh tube based on however many loops I may want to have without twisting it, making sure it doesn't twist. I want to have 3. And then enough for the little bit of a tail, but not really. Oh. Right there. Okay. So then all I do, just grab my ends so they'll be even with my loops, and that's going to be the bottom of our bow. This one through here so it'll stay. Ah, already, Miss Hyla. Rest well. Oops, I missed a loop. How did I do that? Okay, let's try that again. Okay, let's see if I can get it this time around. Oh, that's what it was. My finger moved. I just saw that. Okay, so I'm just twisting it in the back to keep it nice and snug. I'm gonna cut these to match, just for OCD sake. But this is our little, it's like a bow all on its own. Go ahead and dovetail this. One less to do later. And I'm only gonna go about 6 inches. And only about 3 inches for the loop. I'm not gonna go too far out. 3-4 inches. I'm just gonna grab it in between my thumb here, my fingers. I'm actually starting to think I should leave it at 2. Let's see, 1 and 1. So let's go 2. Try not to make it too big because I don't want it to cover too much here, then you won't be able to see the shape of the star. So I'm gonna make it actually a little bit smaller than that. Let's see. Go maybe an inch less. And I might even see. I make it better to make sure we don't cover too much. And just making sure they're both the same length. And I just saw that staple on there. We'll have to remove that later. I'm doing the same thing as if we did had the bow dobra or the easy bow maker. I'm just using my hand to do it and do the twisting and measuring and all that good stuff. And just doing the visual on this set of loops to make sure they're the same size. Alrighty. So now that we have that, go ahead and put it in between my fingers here. Do the dovetail. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one so it doesn't get all discombobulated. And just twisting. And we can do our shaping once we get them all together. But this is basically it. See, looks like I have one tail longer than the other. So go ahead and get that shortened. And then what we're going to do is just put these three together, just like we did that other time, to make our bow. We're basically making three separate bows and then putting them together. And this one, I'm just going to cut at an angle for our tail. And I want it a little bit longer than the other. Let's see, I think we did 6 on the other. This one looks like it's 7, so just about an inch. Same process, only this ribbon is a little bit smaller or not as wide. But because it's not so wide, it doesn't matter that it's not wired. Sure, these are about the same. Tuck it under, going over and under. We're going to do that one more time. got the other one at a different angle. Under that loop just to make it easier. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing with this one just to get it all in place and it won't fall apart. All right, so now we have our 3 little bows that we're gonna put together on top of our star. I think I'm just gonna leave the polka dot on the top, or rather the bottom, for our base. Alrighty, and here we go. Same thing, we're just gonna wrap these around. And then we can play with our bow to make it all prettied up. Like a, what do you want to call it, a messy bow. I don't have the, let me place it so you can see it better. And okay, so the question will be, do we want our bow kind of on the side? Or do we want it centered on one of the corners? Ah, thank you. To the side. We want it up on the top. Kind of just, my thing is not taking away from the, I guess you won't be able to see the star. I guess we could always put it in the middle. And then we still have these to glue on. To kind of give it that. Once we have our bow attached, we can use the bow for that. But this is basically what I was thinking. We can use our glue gun and put some of these around. So I'm thinking more on the center might be better. So we may have to actually glue the bow on. And we can put some of these throughout. Maybe even just on the top. Like so. And let's see, I don't know if you got to see this, Miss Monica. This is where I got these from. They call it what, rattan or grapevine, like pieces of grapevine, and they have them wrapped and you can pull them out or just undo the whole thing if you're going to use them all to get them out of there. But they have them in different shapes. So depending on the project. So I just pulled some of these out. There's one that I kind of started taking out early and I didn't take it out, but you just take them out. You can pull them out or loosen the whole strap and get them all out of there. And I just got different sizes. Go ahead and glue our bow. See how I'm gonna do this. glue it with those. I'm gonna need some of the chenille stamp to glue it on there. I don't want to cut them all off. So I'm gonna leave about an inch so we can use that for gluing. So it'll make it easier to attach to our star. Just gonna tuck it in. Yikes, I just got some glue on me again. What I'm doing is I put some glue, I'm tucking it in. I should have shown where I was doing that. Tucking it in where the actual folds of the ribbon are. And I applied some glue. So we can still have it more or less in our center. Ready? I'll do my finger ones first. I'm going to be gluing these in between our loops. So it'll look like it's coming right out of the bow in the middle. And we could play a little bit more with the bow as well to kind of get it more prettied up. Wait for a couple of seconds there. Same thing on the other side. Getting glue all over. Fun project. Alrighty, let's see. Which do we want to use? That one on the bottom. already glued that one. And right on off. Okay, let's see. You can actually see. And depending on your preference, you can add more around if you want, or on the top, on the sides. I'm gonna add some to the bow here on the bottom. Turn that around. Oh, so glad you love it. I'm gonna add one of these to the bow here coming down, just so that we can see some of these on the bottom as well. Again, I'm just going like under the loops and tails just to make it look like it's part of the bow. So this is it. This is our project, y'all. Quick and easy. Well, maybe not so quick, but fairly easy enough. Alrighty. Any questions at all, let me know via comments. Make sure you do thumbs up, share the link with your friends and family and social media. If you decide to do it, please tag me on social media. Would love to see it. Just to see all the lovely creations that you do. All right, I know there's a delay reaction on my end, so I'm going to wait a couple of seconds before I disconnect. I don't want to miss any comments or questions, but this is it. I'm going to change the view of the camera. All righty. Yes, yes. Oh, look, I like that view also. Hey. All righty. And there it is. You can kind of can't see all the sticks. There we go. Maybe that way might be better. You can see some of them. All right. So this is it. Just wanted to try a little something that might look a little Western, but not too cowboyish. Just in case we didn't want too much masculinity in there. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, please do share with your friends and family so they can watch the video. Thank you, Ms. Monica. And we'll see each other again, or we'll be here again, not tomorrow, but next week, Friday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't forget to give thumbs up if you like it. That way I know what we can try again next. Maybe do a different theme. If I know you like it, we'll continue. So until next time, please continue to create, be safe, stay liquid, stay blessed. Bye-bye.